Hello YouTube. The other day I was feeling very stressed. It was yesterday, not the other. Anyways, yesterday I was feeling stressed and I was like, well, what do I do about this stress? Because I cannot solve the problem at this given moment. So I was like, let me just open up my sketchbook and draw something. And this is what I drew first. First I drew a circle, right? And I did circle and then I just kind of did this because that was how I was feeling of like, this thing was, I drew this one first. It was like something was weighing me down, and then I drew it again, and I put it in a box, and then I put it in a box again. So I don't know, I kind of did it all out of order, and I was like, I want to draw that again, and I kind of just kept doing that. So basically, let me show you the end product before I continue. This is what I ended up with. Feel free to leave your comments and whatnot about that. It's just acrylic paint on paper. It's shiny paint, in case you couldn't tell. And there was a tape border around it. And then the tape ripped up a little bit of this, but I'm not too mad about that. So yeah, this is the final product. And now I'll get back to explaining my process. First, I drew this twice, just by itself. But when I was drawing it, I was sitting right here in this chair, and I was sitting like this, right? Like this, with my hand, with my thumb between my eyes, just drawing like this. Because I was stressed out. This is my I'm stressed out position. And then after I was drawing like this, and I looked at the symbol that I just drew, I was like, that kind of looks like a thumb. Like, not really, but in a symbolic way, it looks like a thumb. I think this one looks a bit more like a thumb than the original ones do. And then that's where I got the idea to add eyes next to it, because it was, so basically this is somewhat a depiction of me going like this out of stress. Yeah, I didn't cry. Well, no, I didn't cry, but I added a tear anyways, just because, like, hey, I'm stressed out. And sometimes a stress cry is good, especially when you're frustrated and that's all you can do because you can't really solve the problem. So all the different ones that I did, I tried it. This was the original, the first one. I did one tear on it, and then I tried 2 tears because maybe it'd look better with 2. And it was also, I made this one horizontal instead of vertical. And then I tried another one with 2 tears that was vertical, but I was like, I like the 1 tear better, because if you're stressed out, like, shedding a tear, that's healing, right? That's going to help you out. It's just, I'm so stressed out, shedding a tear. But shedding 2 tears is a bit dramatic, personally speaking. Like, calm down. If you're shedding 2 tears over being stressed, oof. But 1 tear is perfectly reasonable. And then this is the palette that I use. I didn't pull out my other palette because I didn't want to mess up the color scheme of the palette that I have going on, ready to go, because I'm in the midst of working on another project, and I didn't want to add black to that palette because I felt like it was going to ruin it, because I like the palette that I'm working on to match the piece that I'm doing. Like, I use disposable stuff as my painting palettes, so I can start over with each piece. So I just use this paper because I'm like, I'm only going to use 2 colors, so I can just use this extra space on the paper as my palette, so I don't have to get anything else dirty. And the reason that I chose 2 colors, well, kind of 3 colors. The white, it's not white paint. That's just like raw paper. I like the texture of this paper as well, in case you're interested in that. So I drew it all out. And this ball both symbolizes the heaviness of just like something being weighed down, but then also the stress position that I was in. I don't know if anyone else sits like this when they're stressed. Maybe. But, like, have you ever just, like, that is stress, man. So, yeah, that was that. And then my color choices, I knew I wanted to do black for the background because it's very heavy and, like, blocked in color. And I didn't want it to have so much color. And also, I don't ever use my black paint because, I don't know, I just don't paint with black. So I was like, let me use something that I never use. So I used black. And then I left the whites of the paper, like, raw. It's raw paper, because raw emotion, right? Right? Totally intentional. And then this is a blue color that I don't know what it was called. I think it was, like, I think it's actually called like aqua green or something, but I would consider that more of a blue than a green, but whatever. I guess it's a blue with a little bit of yellow in it, so that makes it green. And then the shading on this is just that mixed with black. And then we have the wand here. And as I was saying about only choosing one minimal colors. Oh yeah, I chose minimal colors just to keep it simple, because even though stress doesn't really feel that simple, sometimes it is. It's like, well, personally what I was stressed about was like money stresses, and I'm like, well, technically it's kind of a complicated subject, money and financial situations, but also it's not that complicated because I want more money and I don't have more money, and that was stressing me out. So this is what I did about it. I think that's all I have to say about this. Oh, I also added this blue because the blue is okay. So basically all of the blue is a bit of like the emotion itself, and then the black is like the heaviness of the emotion, and then the white is just like the raw feeling. I also think it kind of looks like a skunk. Does it not look like a skunk face? Just a little bit. And I debated if I wanted to put pupils in the eyes or give the eyes some kind of depth, but I decided not to. One, so it would just stay like a more geometric, not super realistic, not realistic at all, actually, more like symbolic looking piece. And also, when I choose not to put pupils in the eyes of my characters, it's kind of like a soullessness vibe, right? Because like windows are the eyes to the soul, but if they have no pupils, they have no soul. And I feel like stressing is such a soul-sucking experience that there's no reason to add pupils to it. The suffering is not of the soul, it's more of the mind, which is a whole tangent about what I was about to say about this. Is I put this here because it's kind of like the stress is here, right? The stress is here, and I'm feeling it here, and then there's also that tear here. So the blue is the stress. Blue is just the color of stress. And the reason I chose this blue in particular is because it was the lightest color blue that I had raw out of the tube. I was gonna do, my choices were red, pink, blue, or green. I had like a lighter toned where I didn't want to mix it. Because I didn't want to mix, because when I mix colors, I always end up like with streakiness. You're able to see that it was mixed. I don't fully mix it. And I like it that way. So that's like intentional, but not for this piece. I wanted it to be like a solid, this is the color. No nuance to it. This is just, that's it. The solid blue color. So I did that. And I chose this blue because it's what I had that didn't need to be mixed, but also red felt too harsh because it's not like an angry stressed out. It was more just like a kind of stressed out, you know, like a heavy stressed out, right? Well, I wasn't angry or anything. And then green didn't seem right because I felt like the color palette itself, it's like a lime green. I feel like it wasn't a lime green feeling either. It was like a bluish feeling. So I think this color was a good choice for that. And then close up, he's got a little bit of blue mixed into the waterline of his eyes for no reason in particular. I just did that just because. And then, yep, there's the ball. And that is everything I have to say about this. I painted my stress, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed me talking about me painting my stress. I'm going to give you one more look at the sketchbook that I thought about all this on. And then, boom. Have a nice day. Don't be too stressed out. And if you are too stressed out, draw what it feels like. And you might make something cool, or you might make something that you hate. And that's okay. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Just draw your feelings. Draw your feelings. And have a good day. Goodbye.